Hello, class. We will be talking about key ideas and details. Now, in every story, there are characters. I'd like you to be able to talk about characters and how they make the story come alive. I want you to be able to identify who is in the story, the main people. What is the story about? Or another fancy word for saying it is the plot of the story. Where does the story take place? Or the setting. It could be in a forest, the ocean, a magical land. It could be any place that the story talks about. Also, when, what time period, whether it's fictional or not. The story could be during a war or a very happy time. Also, why? Why are things happening? Is there a domino effect? Imagine dominoes falling, one after another. Boom, 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 boom! A cause and effect. Something happens that causes an event to change. Imagine a man going out into the woods with an axe. And say that he cuts down a tree. What would happen? Or what would the effects be if he did not cut down the tree? Now, you all have storyboards in front of you. Please don't color them in yet. We'll go over a few tales before you fill in those bubbles. We will be reviewing Snow White. What a fascinating tale it is. And I will have you know that there is not just one version of Snow White. Her story is all around the world, from Scotland, Germany, and Italy. Now, I know that we have already read these stories, but we're just going to take a moment to review. Now, in Scotland, we read the story of Gold Tree and Silver Tree. In that story, the characters were Silver Tree, the evil queen, Gold Tree, what we would know as Snow White, the king and the second wife. The setting of this story was in the castle. The coming age events were the poison apple and Snow White changing, or Gold Tree, if you will. And the problem solving of this story, well, I want you to take a moment and think, what is your opinion? Because the best part about literature is that it can be interpreted in many different ways. When I read this story, I thought that the problem solving was the evil queen or evil Silver Tree, how she was going to get rid of Gold Tree. Now in the tale of Germany, the main characters are Little Snow, Evil Queen, the Prince, and the Seven Dwarfs. Excuse me. Now, where does the story take place? I believe that the story took place in the castle and at the Seven Dwarfs' cabin. Now, we also must be able to identify when. Wow. This was right after the king died and the queen was on her own. So we will say that it was in the castle and the woods, because we also do have as our character the huntsman who wanted to kill Snow White so that the queen could eat her heart and liver. That is gross. Cannibalism is not recommended. Now, the events in this story are that the jealous queen wanted to get rid of Snow White. She used 3 items to try. Can anybody remember what these were? I don't see any raised hands. Ah, yes, Lainey.
I thought that they were the lace bodice, the poison comb, and the poisoned apple.
Right you are. That is correct. Those were 3 moments that the queen tried to kill her, but each time she failed. Now, if we may take our time to talk about Italy. Now, who were the characters of this story? Now, you are very lucky, because some of the characters are right in the title, which is very nice. The story is called Maria, the Wicked Stepmother, and 7 Robbers. So from the title, this is not very common. You can gather that the characters are Maria, the Wicked Stepmother, and 7 Robbers. Another character that is not in the title is the king. The setting of this tale is in the home of these 7 robbers. Now in this tale we know that the queen wanted to get rid of Maria. So he brought her to a cliff, but Maria, she's a smart one and brought brain so that she could find her way back home, much like Hansel and Gretel, but not. When the king did this again, Maria got lost and found herself at the home of 7 robbers. Now, the evil queen tried to kill Snow White again with a ring. This was a huge point of the story because she knows that Snow White is alive, and again she wants to get rid of her. However, we have a hero that comes to see Maria, and he just thinks that she's so beautiful. He keeps her, and then one of the servants sees the ring and then takes it from her, and she wakes up. Now, what are the moral messages in this story? Now, I have a video clip to show. Let's see. You can get here. YouTube. Now in this clip, you can see them all bonding. They were bonding. The 7 robbers and Snow White had such a deep connection. That is wonderful. Just so beautiful. So, in the story, we can see that there is friendship and the kindness to others. If you just give somebody a chance to be your friend, I believe that they will. So being kind to others is very important. Even though these are just stories, you can find messages within them. And I think that that's very important for you to know. Also, jealousy. The evil queen was so jealous. So jealous. It did her no good. Because in the stories, she just dies. It's very, very, very sad. Oh. Each stories have similarities. There's friendships, the 7 dwarfs, the robbers. The second wife is also a friend. The characteristics, Snow White, she's young and innocent, but she's a damsel in every single story, every single time. And we also have the hero, the prince. the king. And infamously, we have a villain, the evil mother, and the evil step. The evil mother and the evil queen. Oh, excuse me. Now, what did they overcome? In each story, they overcame evil, and the characters did grow. The seven dwarfs, or robbers, they took care of Snow White in every single story. First, they were like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to take her in. But they did, and that showed some real growth in their character development. Now, why? Why? Think about that. Why? There was jealousy in this story. Jealousy changes people. Nothing is gained. Now, if you were the evil queen and if you were so jealous of someone because they were so pretty, do you think that maybe you would do anything differently? Because nothing is gained from vanity. Nothing. Vanity is when you're really into yourself. Like you think that you are the bomb. What would you do differently? Oh, what did you learn from this? I think that we did learn some morals about being friendship and how you can just take people in and if you just give them a chance. And jealousy, it gets you nowhere. It really does get you nowhere in life. And I'm hoping that you will be able to take this with you. Now, I want you to read a book and fill out your charts. You can read any book you want. It can be Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast. Any story that you want, and just fill in the bubbles and make the connections on your own. Now, they may not be the same as Snow White, but they could be different. All right. I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. I should have them on my desk in 10 minutes. Thank you.